Good afternoon. Welcome to our Hamilton City School Board meeting. We're going to call this meeting into session. Mr. Frazier, if you can call the roll, please.
Ms. Matthews.
Here.
Dr. Hopkins.
Here.
Mr. Davidson. Here. Dr. Kopis.
Here.
Ms. Mancuso.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will have, not seeing anybody from City Council, so I will call Ms. Weisbro for our spotlight today.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us today. We've got two spotlights that we are going to honor and celebrate today. Our first one is our student, Madeline Wagenfield. I've got a little prepared statement here. Like I said, for the last one, I could read on and on and on and on about this young lady, but we're going to highlight some of her accomplishments. Madeline Wagenfield is one of the most well-rounded and high-achieving students we have had the privilege to celebrate. She consistently pursues excellence by fully embracing the opportunities available at Hamilton High School. From an exceptional, rigorous academic schedule to leadership in student organizations and a standout involvement in the performing arts. Most recently, Madeline has qualified as a National Merit Scholarship finalist and was named Loveland Showfest Best Performer of her work within the group Prestige. And I might add, last week, Cincinnati Enquirer Student of the Week. She won it by a landslide, so we got that out there. Academically, Madeline has challenged herself with the most demanding course load throughout high school, including honors, College Credit Plus, and advanced placement coursework. She is one of approximately 50 seniors working toward an all-academics honors diploma, maintains an impressive weighted GPA of 4.591, and will compete more than 50 college credit hours by the end of this school year. Her academic focus aligns with her future plans to attend a 4-year university, major in biochemistry, and ultimately earn a PhD with the goal of conducting research for the Environmental Protection Agency. Madeline's impact extends well beyond the classroom. She serves as editor-in-chief of the student magazine, Out of the Blue, where she leads and manages a team of 15 students. She has completed more than 100 hours of community service through the National Honor Society and is the president of both the Drama Club and the Tri-M Music Honor Society, and serves as treasurer of Student Council, helping manage budgets and finances. Madeline is also a member of the 17-strong Hamilton Youth Commission, collaborating with the Hamilton City Council to strengthen and unite the city's 17 neighborhoods. In addition, she balances her extensive commitments while maintaining employment as a kennel technician at Bark Hamilton, demonstrating responsibility, work ethic, and maturity. I don't know where you find the time, girl. Madeline Wagenfield represents the very best of Hamilton High School through her scholarship, leadership, service, and character, and we are proud to recognize her accomplishments and her bright future. That is the Hamilton way. Congratulations, Maddie. So there are only a few of these people get to rock, and I think you rocked one already for your performance. Was that back in December? So now you're double fisted.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to say anything? Or you don't have to. Okay.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say that I'm so grateful to call myself a student at Hamilton City Schools, and that I wouldn't have been able to accomplish everything that I have without the resources provided to me by the Hamilton City School District, as well as the support from all of the staff members that I have had the pleasure of getting to know in my time here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It's an honor.
Maddie, I know you brought your mom here today with you, but we are all as proud of you as can be. You represent us in the absolute best way. You have so much natural talent in your academics, in your vocals, in your who you are as a human. And I'm so proud of you. What I think is so impressive is you have attended Hamilton City Schools from preschool all the way up. And you have done things that, exceed every goal that we set in this district. And so you are a walking billboard for Hamilton City Schools. I'm proud of who you are as a young lady, and I know that we're going to continue to watch you soar. I remember you coming to my pool 7 years ago and swimming and jumping in, and I thought, man, what a special little girl back then. And here you are 7 years later, getting ready to walk across one of the biggest stages and you have such a bright future. So thank you for representing us, and thank you for being the very best that is Hamilton City Schools.
Yes, I just want to say congratulations, and I echo everything Ms. Blevins says. And just, you know, you come from an amazing family that's just been serving and being a blessing to this community and this district as well. And so it's just no surprise that greatness is on your life as well. So just, you know, just pray many blessings on your life and that you will continue. I know you're going to continue to soar. And thank you again for always representing Hamilton schools in the best way. So yeah, you are amazing. And it was great always hearing you sing and just share just your beautiful talent with us. And you're just a blessing. So thank you so much.
All right, our second spotlight tonight, I want to take the moment to personally thank them for finally getting us out of February. Our maintenance technicians who do all the plowing and help make our places safe and secure for our students and staff. Man, that was a ton of work this past February. And, you know, being in the district as long as I have, it is amazing to see how quickly our buildings and our lots get up and running. Shout out to Mr. Kilby as well for having to get up so early in the morning to go check the road conditions, as well as Mr. Schuler, our Director of Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Kilby included this in Inside the H the other day, but I think it's important to read and put out there for the community in case you missed it. Over the course of the last winter storm, our maintenance staff dropped over 35 tons of road salt, and our custodial staff used roughly 432 bags of ice melt to keep our services safe for students and staff. They also spent over 400 hours plowing parking lots and over 1,100 hours clearing sidewalks. Guys, that's no joke. It is absolutely no joke, and you jumped on it right away. And with Snowmageddon that we just experienced, it was a lot. I mean, we still have snow piles that are around, but not on our buildings and grounds, and it's great. So I want to thank the technicians. We have a few of them here today that I'd like to recognize. Don Spahn, Bill Berg, Jeffrey Burkhart, and Nathaniel Gray. Also those who are not in attendance tonight, Josh Burkhart, Aaron Casano, Zachary Sampson, and Anthony Johnson. Thank you from the district. Thank you for, as a parent and a community member, I truly appreciate that. You guys can't eat these all. These are for everybody that I just named, but I'm putting you in charge of taking crumble cookies back from the district to say thank you. Sally, can I trust him? Can I trust him? Okay, I can trust him. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weisbrod, for highlighting our team. A lot of our community doesn't realize that this team, when we first hear of snowfall, they are out preparing our lots. They're dropping ice melt and salt to make sure that we are prepared. And then they are out with plows at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to ensure that they clear our lots. You know, when this last big snowstorm that Ms. Weisbrod was talking about fell, that was record snowfall for Butler County in the last number of years. And, you know, there were every day, Mr. Kilby and I were back and forth on the phone of, is it safe enough to open today? Is it safe enough to open? And, you know, a lot of the decisions that went into us having to close for as long as we were had nothing to do with our lots and driveways. When you drove by, our sidewalks were clear, our lots were clear. It was where our neighborhoods were. And I think you guys really are the unsung heroes in our district. There were so many days where you were putting 12 and 14-hour days in, making sure that our kids are safe, our staff are safe, and you take such care of our district. So I just want to thank you for all that you do for us, and it is not lost on me how important that work is. So thank you. To each of you for all the work that you've done, and knock on wood, no more snow this year. Wait, I think I just cursed us. I know. I'm sorry. Would any of you like to come up and say anything? I bet the answer is no. Okay.
I would love to just.
I will say this, when I first started here, I've been here 23 years. My first truck was a 3/4 ton Ford that had a blue hood, a red door, a brown bed, and a white cat. And Jeff and Tom have and the board obviously have done an excellent job in updating all of our equipment. We've got Bobcats, tractors, all of our trucks are less than 10, 12 years old. Thank you for the equipment to do what we need to do.
I just wanted to interject that you may not even realize how far-reaching your impact is. In passing schools every day or going to them as a parent, I went to my own workplace after the latest snow, and I walked in and I said, "Look, if the schools can look the way they do, we can do as good a job. Let's get out there and fix things." So, seeing what you all can manage to do, that spreads to other places who want to serve the public as well as you do. So, thank you for that.
Definitely want to say the same thing, say thank you. Appreciate, making sure everything's taken care of and that kids are able to get in and out the building safely. And also, listen, they're hiring in New York, so if we want to take this show on the road, they're hiring in New York for snow people to remove snow. So I'm just saying, I will be, right. So I would be willing to lead the charge. And no. But no, thank you, though. No, honestly, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Well, before we move on, I know Ms. Weisberg would like to get a picture, and then we'll move on to our next item on the agenda. Does that sound good? Do you want them in the blue? Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, no, it's okay. Sweet.
Never fails.
All right. It's always a great time. Thank you, Ms. Weisberg, for those two spotlights. They were amazing. Next on our agenda, we have our February forecast from our treasurer, Mr. Frazier.
Thank you, President Matthews. Never fails. We get a crowd here, and then they all leave before I get a chance to speak. So it's that time of year again, although the time is different than it has been in years past. Typically, we've done a November forecast and then an update in May. This last year, with the many biennium budget changes, one of those things that has changed is the timing of the forecast and the number of years that are in the forecast. So the November forecast is now actually an August forecast, but in the first year they allowed us to present in October. And so we will be doing this February forecast. And then also we're going to do another one in May, so we get the pleasure of that as well. So this is kind of like an interim forecast. We have to do this to keep in compliance, but there are other things that will be in the May forecast that are not in this forecast. So this may be a little bit shorter than everybody is accustomed to. So let's move forward. But before we start, though, I do want to make it clear that with everything going on in the district, there is a plan for a deficit reduction in this district. That is not in this forecast, okay? There are some material updates in this forecast, things that have happened after October that we did not know yet, and there's a couple of them. So that's number one is property tax legislation. So there was some property tax legislation that was signed into law in December that obviously we did not know about in the October forecast. And then also we've had some further enrollment decline than we actually predicted in October. And we'll get to those, but I just want to make it clear, the numbers in this forecast do not have anything to do with the deficit reduction plan. So just get ready. They don't look very good. But hopefully in May, we'll have a better one for you guys. So we'll run through a lot of the typical slides, and we'll proceed that way. So what are we going to cover tonight? Just an introduction to what the forecast is, what its purpose is, why do we have it. We'll look at our revenue and expenditure categories. We'll look at some trends within those revenue and expenditure categories, and then we'll look at our financial condition at the end. So what is the forecast? The forecast is a snapshot analysis of general fund revenues, expenditures, and cash balance. It's only general fund. We have quite a few funds on our books. We have food service funds. We have permanent improvement funds. We have principal funds for the schools. We have federal, state, and local grants. But tonight we are only talking about the general fund. General fund is our main operating fund. It's where most folks' salaries are paid from. It's where we pay for utilities, bus fuel, school supplies, those types of things. And that's only what we're talking about tonight for the forecast. So why do we do the forecast? Well, number one, we're required to do it. Like I said, we're required to do it twice a year. Now we are required to have a forecast in August, which is basically just going to be a rollover from the May forecast because we're not going to have much new information, at least this year. Some years we'll have a biennium budget changeover, which we'll be able to look at. And that's why we do it, is we're required. Now, what's the purpose of the forecast? Well, it encourages the board and the community to engage in some financial planning discussions, which we obviously have been doing these last several months. There's a legal certification for it. Basically means we have the money to meet our financial obligations. But what we really use it for is a long-term planning tool. So every Monday, Andrea, Mike, and myself, we meet, and one of the things we talk about is finance. We talk about finance every Monday morning. And what we will do is, there's always things that, we'll want to do for the district or have a cost reduction plan or some of those things. And everything that we talk about has a financial implication. And so what we will do is we will talk about those things. I'll perform a cost study to see what that's going to cost or what that's going to save. And then we will run that information through the financial forecasting software. And that will tell us, hey, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Is that something we can do? And so we do use that quite a bit. So what are our revenue categories? Where do we get our money? We get 20% of our general fund revenues from property taxes. We get 5% of our revenues in a category called other revenue. It's basically reimbursements, interest earnings, those types of things. But we get the bulk of our money through the state, and that's through our state foundation. We get twice a month through the Fair School Funding Formula. And you can see at 75%, any little change with something going on at the state has a major implication here in Hamilton City Schools. And in July of this last year, there was a major change with the Fair School Funding Formula, which we have talked about. We talked about it at the last October forecast. We've had community forums. I think Andrea will talk to anybody that will listen about what happened in July with us and with that Fair School Funding Formula. So Again, any little change is going to really affect us here in Hamilton. So where do we spend our money? Here are our general fund expense categories. And just like every school district, the main expenditure for us is personnel costs. It's salaries and bennies of our people. And that's going to be every single school district out there. We spend about 13% on purchase services, which are things like utilities, special ed contracts, and those kinds of things. And then we spend a small amount in all other, which is basically supplies. And that's going to be classroom supplies, bus fuel, and things like that. So with those revenue and expense categories in the general fund, this is where we're projected to end up for the year. You can see we've got general fund revenues projected to be about $117.5 million, while expenditures are going to be about $122.5 million, which means we're looking at about a $4.8 million deficit spend. For reference, the October forecast was 4.7. Okay, so we're really close to where we thought we were going to be. There are some changes in there. We were actually moving ahead of trend in a good way after we received some TIF money in December. But with the drop in enrollment that we'll get into, that's kind of eaten up that good trend that we were seeing through the year. So as we can tell, once you have a deficit spend, it's really hard to get back on track. And those deficit spends, they tend to snowball year over year. It's just not a sustainable situation once you start getting into that. So I've already kind of touched on these. What are the updates from October? In December, there were some significant property tax legislation changes that were passed. They capped the increase on property tax revenue that districts at the 20 mil floor could receive. But the kicker was the retroactive credit that was stuck in the law at the very end. And that little bit of legislation looks like about a $3.3 million cut in property tax revenue for Hamilton City Schools. So what's that mean? That means if next year I'm predicting $26 million in property tax revenue, well, now that looks like $22.7 million. So it's a significant cut that we're looking at. And when we get to the numbers, that's the bulk of the change that we'll see from October to this February forecast. And also, we're down in enrollment. We're actually down about 44 kids, 44 FTE from where we thought we were going to be at the end of this school year. There's various reasons for that, but there is a graph that later in the slideshow that I'll show you that kind of illustrates what the enrollment trends look like. And I've got some numbers from the October forecast we'll talk about.
Is that counting kids that are here now, or is that a projection for enrollment?
So down 44 kids is currently right now. So in October, we predicted we were going to be at 8264, and today we're at 8220. And so what we do is, like I said, we meet every Monday. We talk enrollment every week, and we will take current enrollment and put that through a spreadsheet and project what the enrollment looks like, and then we'll take those numbers and actually throw them into the forecast. So our forecast numbers actually tie to our enrollment projections.
You said there were reasons for
So there's all kinds of different reasons. We have some early grads. We have a big one is homeschool. The state has made it significantly easier to homeschool your child than it has in the past. And so we're seeing a big drop in that. That's probably the bulk of them. Because there hasn't been that many early grads this year. But the homeschooling, I think, is a big piece of that. Good question. Any other questions before I move on?
I do think it's important to add, we are hearing, while some of the families that are choosing to homeschool, it's in lieu of, if a child is not showing up to school, we refer them to court for truancy. There are a few lawyers out there that we are hearing that will encourage families to go ahead, pull their child out and homeschool because it stops all of that process. I don't think that's an overwhelming majority, but when we see the numbers shift at this time of year, it causes the little light in the back of my brain to go off and say, I wonder how many of those scenarios are we seeing. We have about 14 early grads so far this school year, so the rest are related to traditional withdrawals from our district.
Good point. So as with any forecast, there are some unknowns. I mean, we're projecting, used to be 5 years, now we're projecting 4 years worth of data. But again, we're looking 4 years into the future. So what are the things that are going to happen in the next 4 years that we don't know? There's going to be a new state biennium budget here, not next year, but the year after. And I think that largely depends on what happens with the governor's race. The governor is the one that sets the stage for the state budget on how much they want to spend on various things, education being one of them. And so I think that's very important, and we simply don't know. Property tax legislative changes. We've had some, a couple recent ones that have hurt us. There are still some out there that are still being introduced. And so we don't know what's going to happen with those. Do those have any legs? We don't know. Is there going to be any backlash in legislation updating what has already been passed? I don't know that. So we make assumptions through the forecast and move through it that way. We've got negotiated agreements that are expiring throughout the forecast period. So I think we have all 4 unions that we will be negotiating in the spring of '27. So again, how does that land? And then again, our enrollment. Yeah, we dig into it pretty deep, but again, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know where the bottom's at. And so that's an unknown, and we make assumptions for that in the forecasting model. So, with the state not fully funding the formula, the change that they made in July, we've got recent property tax changes, we've got declining enrollment, and we've got increasing expenses. You can see what the trends look like here. The blue boxes on the left-hand side are revenues, and we can see that's relatively flat to declining. The orange boxes are expenses, and we can see those are ever increasing. And we can see what happens with the cash balance. The projected cash balance is over there on the right. And where we were in the October forecast, we had 2 days of cash in 2029. Now, that number is negative. And which is why, when you're seeing these trends, it is so important that you act early in order to right the ship and correct those things. Yes, David?
Is this taking consideration the cuts we're making?
No. So that was kind of what I said in the beginning. There are nothing in this forecast has anything in there with the deficit reduction plan. Nothing. Now, I do have a slide later that shows what that looks like with those.
So basically, this is all just to satisfy the state requirement. It's not really going to be a projected 50 million.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because later on in this meeting, up for your approval is a large piece of the deficit reduction plan. So that technically has not happened yet, right? So, go ahead.
To clarify, so this does not include those deductions, but the May forecast, when we revisit this again, will include the deduction plan, at least the pieces that we have approved as a board.
If everything that's up for your approval is approved this evening, then yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, no, very, very good point. But yeah, this situation, is why it was so important that we act now. And it was, kudos to the board and the administration. I think they've done a fantastic job with the plan, thinking that through, making it make sense, the follow-through. I just think that's very, very impressive. So thank you all. So this is a cash on hand. So we typically will have a slide here that just shows the day's cash on hand. With this being an update to the October forecast, we're comparing now where we were in October versus now. And like I talked about in 29, in October, we thought we were going to have about 2 days of cash. With the recent property tax legislation changes and the updates in enrollment, now we're looking at a negative cash balance without doing anything. Right.
Mr. Frazier, can you share there, if we were to not make changes and file this forecast in August, what would that mean to the state of Ohio?
So if we continue down this path without making any changes, and it comes time to file the next forecast in August, we're looking at a deficit or a negative cash balance in 29. So that would technically be FY 27. And having a negative cash balance 2 years out would put us in fiscal distress. We would get one of those nasty letters. Yeah, we'd get one of those nasty letters that the state sent out. In October, they sent out 44 letters of districts that are in fiscal distress. I would imagine after the recent updates that they're going to receive a lot more letters. We are 1 year removed from that right now as we're currently sitting in FY 26. So the negative cash balance right now is 3 years out. So it doesn't qualify for that. Good point. Okay, so this is the one slide that we talked about just a second ago. This compares this February forecast to what I'm hoping to file in May after the deficit reduction plan's approved. Significant increase. This looks substantially better than where we are currently sitting at right today. I will say, though, if we look at it, you can see the days of cash are still declining. And that's still not a good trend. What we've done with this plan is we've bought ourselves a few years to see what happens with this governor race, see what's going on with enrollment, in order to be able to make those decisions without the state coming in. And so, again, this looks significantly better, but if things do not change at the state level, I hate to say it, but we might have to start talking about the L word, which is levy. And that's something I never thought I would have to say here in Hamilton City Schools. But there's just been so much change. And we've got a slide here that shows it. And Andrea loves this slide. It's a slide that shows, every decision that they have made at the state level are reducing their own cost, meanwhile increasing the tax burden on the local people. And so we'll get there. But again, if something doesn't change, we're going to have to do something. So this is our enrollment. These are our enrollment projections. So we're in 2026, we're looking at 8220. In October, it was 8264. Currently in 2027, we're predicting 8150. And in October, that was 8239.
How do you go about predicting?
So we have a spreadsheet that we use. I pull EMIS data every Monday morning that tells us our FTE, which means if you're a kid and you go to Butler Tech 3 classes and you're in high school, I get 4 sevenths for you. I get 4 bells at Hamilton and 3 bells at Butler Tech. But it breaks it down in FTE for us. So we know by kid how much funding we are getting for that student. And what we do is we predict by cohort throughout the years And we know about how many kids we lose from 8th to ninth grade, and from ninth grade to 10th grade, and from 11th to 12th, okay? And so we put those percentages in this spreadsheet, and we predict kindergarten classes coming in, and we move the cohorts throughout the years, and we end up with numbers by year for that particular school year. And so we take all of that information and boil it down into, here's what we think we're going to have in that particular year. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it all boils down to, a single number. So we can see, I mean, even in this forecast, we don't think we're going to go below 8,000 students. But again, we don't necessarily know where the bottom is. And so that's something that we're constantly looking at. I always like to tell people when, people always ask me, is enrollment really that far down? And I like the example of 10 years ago, we had 1,000 students in the kindergarten class. This year, we're at 618. So it does illustrate, yeah, we are losing students. And Mike Wright did a fantastic deep dive into where are the students, because it was always my thought that the birth rate's down. Well, 10 years ago, in Hamilton's 22 square miles, there was a set amount of kids, and we got 1,000 of those kids. Today, there's actually 300 more kids in Hamilton's 22 square miles, but we're only getting 618. There's just so much more choice. Kids go to Fairfield Prep. Obviously, there's ed choice. We have high school kids that go to, we have an increase in Butler Tech. We have kids that go to Marshall. There's homeschool. There's just so many more choices now that's driving that decline for HCSD.
If we stretch this chart back historically, did this downward trend really start kind of around COVID, post-COVID, this 2021 where the chart starts, or did it precede that?
I don't know. Mike, can you answer that?
So we knew that, we did a study with actually a gentleman from UC, it's been probably 10 years ago now, where we knew that we were going to start hitting an enrollment decline. Again, that goes back to the birth rates and all those things. Right now, our junior class is our largest class in the district. So we knew that we were going to kind of hit a little bit of a slope. What I will say is that prediction 10 years ago was that we were going to hit a dip, which is kind of where we're at, like in 4th, 5th, 6th grade right now. But then it had us going back up. We have not seen that rise back up as was predicted. So for example, last year, I believe our enrollment was about 680 in kindergarten. So we kind of predicted, I think this year, 660 or 650.
Based on historical trends, we had it at 660, then we bumped it to 650, and now we're sitting at 640 throughout our spreadsheet that we calculate that.
Yeah, so like when Jeremy's saying we go back, I mean, we look back 10, 15 years, and we see percentages as cohorts go from kindergarten to first grade to second grade. We typically stay 98 to 102% kind of through those grades. It's the high school where you start getting the choices of, technical schools, early college academy through Miami. There's just so many other options where we do lose fundings for those kids. And as those programs continue to expand, we continue to lose more and more money for those programs as well. So I do think that, our junior class, as they roll out, we're probably going to hit our low. So 2 years from now, we're probably going to be at our very lowest. And hopefully we will start trending back up because we have seen a little bit of growth. So like that, I was talking about our 4th, 5th, 6th grade classes. Some of those are significantly low. So we're going to see 5 or 6 more years of that trend pushing through. We do have a couple kindergarten classes where they did kind of jump to that 680 number, but then we're back down to, 620 this year. We're predicting next year to be 640. Again, if it comes in higher, it's better. If it comes in a little lower, we're probably in a little worse situation than what we're able to even predict.
Right.
What was the trend prior to this junior class? Was that a huge ramp up from the trend prior to that, or was it?
Yeah, so this junior class is actually going back to what Jeremy said. That's when I think it was 1,001
Yeah, 1,001
kindergartners was this junior class right now. And we knew that, again, that was kind of atypical, but we were sitting at 850 to 900 in most classes. Right now, we only have, I believe, 3 classes in the entire district that are over 700. Most all are in the 650 to 680 range. And I think that's kind of where we're expecting things to continue kind of in that range.
Very good question. I always like this slide here. This just shows what it costs to educate a kid per day. Here in Hamilton City Schools, that number is about $83, of which the resident property owner's portion is only $11.62. So it's said a different way than how we typically see it, cost to educate. I like breaking it down to the daily cost, so I always include it in my slides. This is the slide we talked about earlier. That shows in the green line there is the state's portion of funding and cost to educate a child. And you can see basically with every decision that they make, they're driving their costs down while forcing the local taxpayers through income tax levies, property tax levies, what have you, to foot the bill for that. So I always include this in my slide as well. And we've only got one more slide. It's the summary. So obviously there's been some big changes between October and February with property tax updates, enrollment updates. Again, there's always some unknowns when we're forecasting years out into the future, like what's going on with the biennium budget, what's going to happen with enrollment, where are our contract negotiations going to land next spring. So there's always those types of things. However, I will say that the May update is going to include, hopefully, the deficit reduction plan, that we have the bulk of that on this meeting this evening. And it will look significantly better, as that slide has showed. I mean, I know this forecast is a stinker. It is. But hopefully in May, I can present you a lot better picture, and I look forward to that. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but that's my presentation.
Anybody have any questions? Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Next on our agenda, we're going to consider a motion to go into executive session. The reason for that is to consider employment of public employee or official, and our second reason is to discuss confidential information related to an application for economic development assistance or negotiations with other political subdivisions related to application, as an executive session is necessary to protect the applicant's interests or related expenditures of public funds. A unanimous vote is required by the board to go into executive session. So do I have a motion?
I moved. A second.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Call the roll.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
This is Tango, and Tango is our certified therapy dog through the AKC, and he is going to be a therapy dog in Hamilton City Schools this school year and for the future. The students are so excited to have Tango in the building. Even just seeing him through the glass as they're walking in, they're like, Tango's here. I think the biggest thing that Tango is going to provide for us is really a lot of comfort and emotional regulation. We know that students learn best when they are emotionally regulated, and so having Tango available to help us feel the calm, that connected state, and just be able to kind of calm our bodies, it really helps to allow students to feel comfortable and safe here at school, which then allows them to be ready for learning.
It's the connection. No one has to teach a dog how to connect and how to have empathy. It's part of their genetic makeup. It's part of who they are. And their connectivity, just the way they feel, their sense of calm, them picking up on how we smell different when we are having different emotions. Their noses are way more attuned. They can pick up on those things and they can respond, and they intuitively know how to respond to help us be calm. Arrow, who's already been across the district, will stop and spend more time with people who might have something going on that no one's ever going to know about, but Arrow knows. And now Tango's going to know too. And you don't have to use any words. They can take care of us without us having to talk, because sometimes there aren't words for situations that are hard. Ultimately, we'd like to have a dog in every building, and we're relying on our community for that, and we've already been met with an overwhelming response. We have, one building already successful, and I've got 3 more buildings on tap that we're going to be expanding our pack very shortly.
One of our main missions is the community, right, and children and youth. So it's all kind of the pillars of the American Legion, so being able to keep it close and local is a great thing.
His job is people. He is here to work for people, to be comfort, to be friendly, and he loves love. He loves to be pet. He wants friends and attention. So his job is people, and I want him to know as many people as he can and make a difference in as many lives as he can.
I mean, it's amazing, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for here. So being able to come back and get the love that I get and be able to return it, it's huge to me.
I didn't think this would happen because I kind of just jotted it down one random day when my teacher wasn't there. And I was like, I don't really think anything's really going to happen. I was like, oh my gosh, nothing like this has ever happened to me. This is so awesome.
It was amazing to hear the stories and their thoughts on, how they made the design and what it meant to them. So hearing all that was awesome.
I did the phoenix on the very front of the ship and the clock.
I picked a piece out of each design that I seen, and I tried to all implement it together and try to make one a really cool cleat, so that way not just one person won, but maybe 10 or however many I could be able to get. Like I said, some of it related to me and some of it didn't relate to me at all, but it related to people that I love and people that I grew up with. So it's I might as well put everything together if I can.
I do stuff and I'm like, how no one really cares. No one really sees what I'm doing. And then that's just kind of proved to me that what I'm doing is worth something to someone.
Being able to just try to make it all about y'all, all about the kids. So that's something I would love to do every year.
Hi, I'm Shaquila Matthews, aka Pastor Shaq, born and raised in Hamilton. I am in my 7th year of school board. Oh my gosh, 7 years of serving the community in this capacity has been an absolute blessing. That the people would find the confidence in me for me to serve another year, to be able to represent not only the city, but my community that I was born and raised in. And it's just been an honor to be able to serve the kids, because I work with youth with HYPE, so to be able to serve in this capacity of being a part of the decision making and helping make this district better than what I found it, and also once my term is up to leave it better than what I found it, is definitely the ultimate goal. For me, it was important to be a part of the board and to be able to work with others to help bring about change, to help make sure that every student had the opportunity to be great, and whatever that is, if it's excelling in academics, if it's excelling in their sports. However, I wanted to be a part of that process to make sure that young people had what they need to be able to be great in whatever capacity, whatever that may look like. For me, I think since I've been on school board, I've worked with some amazing board members, Mag, Lauren, Dave, all of them. I've working with some amazing people, and I look forward to working with our new incoming board members, Carrie Mancuso and Dr. Ashley Hopkins. So I'm looking forward to their input and what they will add and bring to the board. But I've seen so many great things. I've seen a lot of great partnerships come along with working with the city and development. In that regards, one thing that I've been really excited about is the program that Chris Cannell heads up with students and them finding employment. I think that has been just phenomenal, how he's really taken that by the head, just really move forward with that program and open up so many opportunities for kids to be able to find employment. So that's been important for me. I also love the CCP course that the students are able to take advantage of. They're able to, of course, continue working towards graduation, but as well as earning an associate's degree in Miami. So for me, those have been 2 amazing things that stand out to me that I really really, 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 really love about our district. So, because I've talked to many kids that they're graduating from high school as well as college, and I just think that's phenomenal, and that's really setting that child up to really be great. And I think that being a part of those things in the district has been amazing. We have great leadership. We have great leadership with Andrea. We have great school board members that are willing and dedicated to us being great and put us in the best position as possible. We all know that districts all over the nation are facing challenges as it relates to budgets and just everything. And we feel as if a district we've done the work. We are dedicated to coming together and being supportive of our admin team and of our leadership to make sure that we are able to continue to position our students to be great, continue to support our teachers and staff, and make sure that we continue to do things the Hamilton way.
A couple years ago, we had a plan that we wanted to work with a company to start designing a cafeteria that was different than your typical school cafeteria. We wanted it to feel more like a food court and less like your typical long tables, benches, rows. So we wanted some different types of seating in there. The response has been wonderful, not just from the students, but also from the community. We've had lots of adults in here on open house. We've had other jealous teachers from other buildings that have been telling us how great it looks. So we've had a wonderful response, honestly.
It feels more like when we went to Miami, we just got to sit in their cafeteria and it felt just more like mature. And so it just is really cool that our cafeteria is a lot like that.
The kids are doing better this year, like from last year. We always would get up, scream across the whole lunchroom because you couldn't sit with like all your friends. It's like kind of a small space, but now it's like a bigger space, more tables. You can just sit and eat with your friends, be comfortable. It's a very big change from last year.
I feel like it's very comfortable. The students enjoy eating there. While talking to their friends, they really seem to like the new changes that were made this year.
We tried to bring not just Garfield in here, but also the city of Hamilton. We brought in Hamilton things from around our community, including some maps of the neighborhoods that our kids come from.
It makes you feel like you're being part of the community and enjoy the places that are important.
I'm just so glad that we get to share this with our students. I'm so glad they get to enjoy it, and I just love making Garfield even better.
My name is Dr. Ashley Hopkins. I work for Miami University, directing our Upward Bound College Preparatory Program at Hamilton High School. I've worked there for about 8 years, and I have worked in public education for almost 20 years this year. I decided to run for school board first and foremost because, as I mentioned, I have worked in public education for almost 20 years, and I'm a product of public education, and my whole family is. I come from a working class, blue-collar background from Appalachia. I'm a first-generation college student myself, and if it wasn't for the great public school educators in the small town that I grew up in Gallipolis, Ohio, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I wouldn't have my doctorate in educational administration, and I wouldn't be serving my community here in Hamilton and helping open the door to educational access for other students. I think in the district we do a really exemplary job of providing an individualized educational experience for each of our students. And so we have a district that has many passionate educators, from our support staff in the cafeterias and in the classroom, our teaching assistants, our teachers, clear up to our administration. They really all genuinely care about students and their well-being and their ability to learn and succeed. And so we're really focused on doing what is best for our students, and that looks very individual for each student. And we take the time out to get to know our students and to think through each one of those individual needs and problems that they may be experiencing in the classroom or in their educational journey. I'm really excited to stand as an advocate for our students to continue the student-focused educational traditions that we've developed at Hamilton School District. I really am focused on being an advocate, especially for our students who are maybe overlooked or feel overlooked, making sure that our most vulnerable populations are really advocated for in the board meetings and when we're making different difficult decisions throughout the year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the performance in our data and being at the front of that and thinking about how we can continue to respond to the changing educational landscape, maintaining that data while also protecting and supporting our students' overall well-being and educational access. I know that we have challenges ahead, but to be very honest, those challenges are some of the motivation for me to even jump in right now. I think it's a really important time to serve public education, and so for me, this is a bit of a call to service as we navigate choppy waters, but we're going to come out on the good side.
As a new principal at Hamilton High School, I was really thinking about this Hamilton-Baden game and how we could make this a community celebration, but really at the core of the Baden mission is service to our community, and that's always been an important part of what my passion is in education. So whether it's working with 17 Strong and micro grants with our youth, or just getting out in the community and doing cleanups, we really wanted to launch something that was bigger than the football game, something where our kids give back to the community. Some of them are actually throwing stuff in the dumpster right now, helping out Miss Ebony, the executive director at BTW. And then we have boys out in the community, walking the streets, picking up trash.
So over the summer, we had the opportunity to meet with Hamilton High's administration and just talk about this game. This game is such an awesome opportunity for both schools to showcase really what we believe, what we're all about. And in meeting with Ty and talking, we wanted to do something to make our community better, to bring our two football teams that obviously are competing to win football games, but more importantly, we wanted to come together to serve the community. In the midst of a rivalry week, that we're working together to make things better. I think that, when I look at, our guys and Hamilton's guys, there's so many little faces in those crowds, little kids that look up to them. I mean, they see them as celebrities at times. And just to inspire in them a desire to be more than just what they are on the football field. I mean, they're leaders in our community. They're doing great things. And I think the opportunity to showcase that, really to inspire, hopefully some other people to get involved in 17 Strong, here at the Booker T. Washington Center, to get involved here, which are great organizations that need people like this to come out and serve and make the place better.
And it's just really, to me, signifies kind of a new launch of service to our community for both of our schools, for Baden and for Hamilton. So it was great to see everybody out in their jerseys. It is Hamilton versus Baden Friday night, but right now everybody's working together to make our community a better place.
I'm Dr. Joe Kopis. I'm a board member here in Hamilton. I've been on the board for 2 years. Lifelong resident of Hamilton. I'm a product of the public schools here in Hamilton. I'm married to Joni Lauer Kopis for 42 years. We have 3 grown children, also here in Hamilton. I am a retired dentist. I practiced clinical dentistry for 30 plus years. I'm also a retired colonel from the United States Army, having enlisted in 1983 and retired in 2018. I love being on the school board. I think the health and the welfare of our city is in a large way dependent on the status and condition of our public schools. And even though we currently are facing some challenges, I think we're doing the best that we can, and we're still producing and delivering a very good product to our city. Ever since day one of me being elected to the board I am very much an advocate for the staff. I've said on multiple occasions that the three most influential people in my life were teachers that I had in the Hamilton City Schools, and they truly have affected me and influenced the decisions that I've made in life. So I can't focus enough on the welfare of our staff, and our goal as a district should be to attract and retain as many great educators as we can. I think that's so critically important, not only to the success of the schools today, but the success of our city as we move forward. And fortunately, our schools, I think, have a very good working relationship with the city. And I think both of those two entities understand that we're dependent on each other, and the success of each is dependent on each other. One of the things I wanted to accomplish when I was elected is that I wanted to see the culture in our district change a little bit. And I think because of our new superintendent, Mrs. Blevins, and her staff, I think it has. And I also wanted to try to take better care of our staff. And fortunately, each one of our unions in the Hamilton district has been able to renegotiate their contract, and they've been given what I think are some pretty substantial pay increases, which makes us very competitive in what we're trying to do as far as finding good people and keeping them here in Hamilton. It's an honor to be on the board, and when I ran for the board in '23, there were 2 seats available. There were 4 candidates, and I think it's very appropriate that the community at that time had a choice. It really is a critically important job, and the decisions that you make not only influence the schools, but it influences the health and the welfare of our city as a whole.
Arrow is the Hamilton City Schools District's first therapy dog. She is certified through the AKC as a certified therapy dog. She is here for our students and our staff, and is just a part of the Hamilton community.
And I'm just so impressed with her poise. She is so well trained and just does a great job already to lighten all of our moods. I couldn't be thankful enough to Leadership Hamilton, Hamilton Community Foundation, and the Paws and Stripes College for preparing such an amazing partner. We couldn't have asked for a better dog.
I know Andrea just saw the benefit and all the research that was behind how therapy dogs make a solid impact with students, through attendance and grades and behavior. And she did a lot of research herself and brought it to the team and wanted to take the project on.
And this is one proactive strategy that local communities are using to help build resilience, kindness, positivity. There's a lot of research out there about how a therapy dog will lower anxiety and stress, which so many of our young people and our staff are facing on a day-to-day basis. Our goal is to get a dog for each of our buildings. As you know, there's a lot of needs that go around, and Arrow is just one. We're a very large district, and so our goal is to onboard 4 to 5 dogs a year. That would allow us to eventually get there in the next few years to a dog per school. That will allow that dog to become really a part of that school culture. Through community donations, through different agencies, we've been able to raise the money completely so that not one district dollar is being used for this.
She's calm, mild-mannered, just very sweet, very gentle, listens very well. A lot of love, a lot of happiness, a lot of energy behind it, which is great.
My name's Dave Davidson. I'm a Hamilton City School District board member. I'm starting will be my 11th year. I was just reelected in November. I am a product of the Hamilton City Schools, and actually I'm a 3rd generation Hamilton City School graduate. My father graduated in 1951 from Hamilton High, my grandfather from Hamilton High in 1928. I have 3 boys that graduated from Hamilton High, and I currently have 2 grandchildren who are students in the Hamilton City School District. I'm married to Kim, who's a teacher in the Hamilton City School District. I have 10 grandchildren. 2 of them live in Germany. I'm a practicing attorney here in Hamilton. I've been practicing for about 35 years in Hamilton. I love Hamilton. I came back to Hamilton when I graduated from law school. I'm committed to Hamilton. It's a great place to raise a family, and I was fortunate to do that. I've been very active in community activities. I was involved with Westside Little League when my boys were younger. I'm on currently the Planning Commission for the City of Hamilton. I was on City Council for 5 years back in the 90s. The reason I went on to the City Council back then is Hamilton was going through a difficult time. Everybody was complaining. We were losing manufacturing jobs. People
Good evening. We'll call this business meeting into session. We can stand for our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Fraser, will you call the roll? No,
Matthew.
roll. We don't do a roll?
We did roll already. We'll just
Oh, yeah.
go right into the approval
Yes,
of the
approval,
agenda.
that's it. Approval of the agenda. I have a motion.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Mr. Fraser, if you call the roll, please.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll accept the motion for the approval of minutes.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Fraser, if you call the roll, please.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have our public participation, and I have Miss Katie McAbee for doing a HCTA update.
There we go. So hello, as you know, I'm the president of the Hamilton Classroom Teachers Association, and I just wanted to come up and say that as union leadership and a union in general, we understand the proactive approach that the board is taking tonight to create a balanced plan that supports our students and staff. We understand that tonight's cuts are direct results of the cuts in the state and federal funding. We want to thank you for your transparency through these challenging times, as well as your continued support for our members, included in this evening in the debt reduction plan. We look forward to a bright future for our district and continue working with all of you for the betterment of our staff, students, and district. We understand this is a hard decision. None of them were made lightly, but we do truly appreciate the transparency that we have been shown through this entire process. And just to let you know that how much we appreciate it and that we do understand it was difficult decisions to make. So that was it for tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware.
Thank you so much, Ms. McAbee. I appreciate that update and the encouraging words and support, so greatly appreciate it. Next on our agenda, I have Ms. Blevins with our superintendent's comment.
Yes, thank you, President Matthews. I do have a number of comments to make this evening. First, I just want to acknowledge that this week we're joining school districts across the nation and celebrating Public Schools Week, a time to recognize the vital role that public schools play in our communities and in our democracy. Public schools are the heart of our community. They are the one place where every child is welcome, regardless of the background, ability, language, or circumstance. Every day, our schools open their doors with a promise to educate, support, and care for all students who walk through them. Here in our district, public education is far more than just academics. It's about relationships. It's about dedicated staff who stay late, support staff who go above and beyond, administrators who lead with purpose, and families who partner with us to ensure student success. It's about creating safe, inclusive spaces where students are challenged, supported, and prepared for what comes next. Public schools are also one of the greatest investments a community can make. Strong public schools strengthen neighborhoods, fuel local economies, and prepare the next generation of workers, leaders, and citizens. When we invest in public education, we invest in opportunity and in the future of our community. This week is also a reminder that public schools don't succeed alone. Our success is made possible through collaboration with our families, community partners, local organizations, and this Board of Education. Your support, advocacy, and belief in public education makes a difference every single day. So during Public Schools Week, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our educators and to our staff for their dedication and their professionalism. Thank you to over 82% of the families in the city of Hamilton for trusting us with your children. And thank you to our community who have stood strong with us through these difficult times. We are proud of our schools. We, along with the other 610 public schools across the state, serve 90% of children in the state of Ohio. We believe in the mission, and we remain committed to ensuring that every student we serve has access to high-quality, well-rounded public education. I think it's important to note that we have so many special things going on here in the city. Just a few I want to highlight tonight for our board and our community. Today, I'm extremely proud of our juniors who took the ACT today and did a wonderful job showing what they know as they determine what the next steps for them as they become young adults. James Hostler qualified for state after winning districts in the breaststroke. Hamilton City Schools students are catching the attention of the Cincinnati Enquirer magazine. As you saw tonight, Maddie Wagenfield was Cincinnati Enquirer Student of the Week last week, and Joshawn Price is up for nomination this week, so please keep voting for him. In addition, our Hamilton choirs did an amazing job last weekend at the Double H Showcase. This week, our HHS alum and Atlanta Falcons NFL player Malik Verdon returned to Hamilton City Schools to distribute shoes to students at Riverview and celebrate our artist who designed cleats that he wore in a professional football game. We are also so proud that this week our students are showcasing their musical abilities at our citywide concerts. Last night was our band, tonight is orchestra, tomorrow is choir, so please make sure to check them out if you haven't already. And we are also extremely excited to host the upcoming 17 Strong Neighborhood Summit at our high school on Saturday, March 7th. With all these exciting things, it's hard to believe that the school year is flying by. I think it's important for us as a board and to remind all of our families that the end of third quarter is next Thursday. I don't know how we got here so quick. And we will have no school for students on Friday, March 6th, so that our staff can finalize reports. I do want to thank HCTA for their comments this evening. I think that Mrs. McAbee has acknowledged that these last few months have been hard for us as we've had to make tough decisions. And tonight is another tough decision as the board will vote to approve and accept some of the reduction in forces. However, we are doing this work every single day to make sure that our district is ready and strong to support this community long term. Tonight on the agenda, you'll see there are a number of items up for approval. One is the NIL policy update that we talked about during the last work session. You'll also see that there is a OHSAA resolution that will allow us, our students, athletes in grades 7 through 12 to continue to participate. You will also see as part of that reduction plan tonight, the Butler County ESC contract of service to run preschool at Fairwood Elementary beginning in August of next year. Just want to remind the board that that contract will save us approximately $1.3 million in having them outsource our preschool. In addition, on our HR agenda tonight, it is quite large. This is the agenda that includes all of the certified, so our HCTA and administrative reductions in forces. This list is already less than the original 153 that we talked through as we've started to recall as vacancies and retirements occur. From this point forward, after your vote this evening, any staff member who will be recalled will be listed on future agendas as a recall and a rescind, as the reduction will be made official after your vote tonight. Our Local 151, which is our clerical and our EA union positions, will be on a later agenda as we finalize that process. I am also happy to report that while you'll see all of our HCSD nurses are included on tonight's reduction in force list, through collaboration with Butler County ESC, we have already hired a number of them back to onboard and continue providing RN services in our district. With hiring going on, this allows us to keep the best quality in our schools for a price that we can afford. I do plan, as we get into future months, to continue to update the board on where we are with recalls and what actual numbers in the end that we are parting with of employees. But I will tell you one resounding piece in every one of these conversations that I've had with staff is they want to be a part of our district. They love working here, they love serving our community, and we are committed to trying to recall and employ as many of them as possible through this transition. There are also some other items on the agenda that I just think it's important for our community and our board to point out. As you know, I always send a description of every item so you have some time to review and ask questions before. But on our consent agenda tonight, there's a number of items that I think are important to call attention to. The first is our program of studies for Hamilton High School next year. Each year we take a look at what course offerings we're going to offer. On here you'll see that there are a few classes that have been added, including electives, career tech, as well as advanced academic options that have been added to the table for our Big Blue 9 through 12 high school students next year. In addition, you'll see there's a number of field trips that are up for approval tonight. We have amazing athletes and performers going all over. We've got a student swimmer that is going to Canton to compete at Canton High School. We also have NJROTC traveling to Florida for orienteering here in the next few weeks. Our Inharmonics group will be traveling to Indianapolis to compete at Warren Central High School. And our students that participate in Miami University's Upward Bound program will be going to Indianapolis over spring break to visit 2 college campuses and have some great experiences. You'll also see on the agenda tonight from special ed, there is a quote to provide placement for one of our special education students. This student is already placed at Warren County Warren County Educational Service Center. However, they need a more restrictive environment. And so on here, you'll see that student will be, that we are projecting that student moves from the Wellness Center to the Learning Center, which does accrue additional costs. We talk all the time about the costs associated with educating all students, and so there is an additional cost for that comes out of our general fund. On our business agenda tonight, we've got a number of things. One is part of our commitment to ensure we have the best quality buildings as our capital plan is laid out. Bridgeport Elementary this summer is due for a carpet upgrade. It's important to note that that carpet is paid for out of permanent improvement. No general fund dollars are used. That is to help ensure we have high quality facilities for our students. You'll also see on here that there is the freshman campus has received a grant from the Joe Burrow Foundation for $1,000 to provide youth mental health supports at their school. You'll see on here that we have up for approval tonight the purchase of a box truck for our building and grounds team to ensure they can continue to do their work. Unfortunately, our previous one overheated and no longer will run. Again, that comes out of permanent improvement dollars, so leveraging everywhere we can to save funds within our general fund. In addition, you'll see on the business agenda, as I've talked about with a lot of community members don't realize that we are also the fiscal agent for many of the federal dollars that flow through our district to our local parochial or charter schools. And so just like we got our allocation before of those during our last board agenda, you'll see tonight these are the auxiliary funds that are flowing through for Emmanuel Lutheran, St. Anne, St. Joe's, St. Pete, and Baden. Our team is the one that oversees the use of those dollars, but we just manage their money for them. They tell us where to spend that. So that's on here for agenda. Then the last 2 items on here, I wanted to just take a second to speak on in our technology agenda. You'll see there are 2 fairly large purchase orders on this agenda. The first one being our district phone system. Our phones typically in a typical year cost us about $200,000 to maintain in a regular school year. What's interesting right now is those are paid out of general fund. As we are upgrading all of our phones, the physical phones that we have in our buildings, we are able to package that together into a 5-year deal and take that expense out of permanent improvement dollars. So that will save our general fund over the next number of years about $225,000 by moving that from the general fund into PI. The same can be said about staff devices. So as you know, we provide all of our teachers and our administrators with computers to use and ensure that they can provide high quality instruction to kids. Right now, we purchase those out of permanent improvement. However, the software that we use, we purchase out of general fund. We spend about $50,000 a year to provide Microsoft services for all of those devices. By packaging that together, where we're buying the devices and the software at the same time, we are able to save the general fund and put that into the permanent improvement. So that was an item that was listed as the budget reduction plan and will save us about $250,000 over 5 years' time. So I think it's important to our community to know that our team is committed to looking at every available dollar that we can leverage that allow us to relieve our general fund but continue to offer great services to our staff and students. And so that's sometimes a complicated process, but both of those expenses have been able to relieve our general fund but still continue to provide high quality supplies and materials in our district. Okay? I know that was a mouthful tonight, and I apologize, but I think there were so many items that were on here that it was important for those. I will take any questions that you might have for me, but those are my comments this evening.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Do you think Matt Huffman and the legislature are going to celebrate public schools this week?
I don't know. I have not seen anything come out yet, Mr. Davidson.
And the second thing is just a question. The federal dollars that flow through us, it's our staff, it's accounting at Jeremy's time. Do we get compensated for that?
We do. We get 4% of those dollars. I'll do a journal entry every year for 4% of the total allocation goes back into our general fund. Yep.
So it's not completely for free. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like the busing.
No, we do get a little portion of that pie. What I'll say is, we have a dedicated title and grants coordinator. Her salary is more than 4% of what that piece looks like. But we do at least see some return for that management of the federal dollars. Those are federal dollars that flow through there. Those are my comments this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lovelace. I appreciate that. Next on our agenda, we'll accept a motion for our NIL policy. Anybody have any questions about it?
Do a first and second, and then discussion.
Yep. Okay, yep. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Whichever one of us wasn't first.
I've got Dr. Hopkins on the first.
Okay.
Ms. Mancuso for the second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Frazier?
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
No.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have OHSAA resolution. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Well, second.
Mr. Frazier, if you call the roll, please.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes. Next on our agenda, our Butler County Educational Service Center contract to provide preschool services for school year 26-27. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to adopt.
Have a second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion? Hearing nothing, Mr. Frazier, if you call the roll, please.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is our human resource personnel items. Do we have a motion to accept? Have a motion?
I'll make the move to accept. I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Frazier, if you call the roll.
Mr. Davidson? Yes. Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Due to my affiliation with the Upward Bound program, I will be abstaining from voting.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier, if you call the roll.
Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson? Yes. Dr. Hopkins?
I abstain.
Thank you. Our finance agenda, Mr. Frazier.
Thank you, President Matthews. You folks have already heard me talk quite a bit tonight, so luckily we have a short finance agenda this evening. I'll bring it up here. We basically have the regular normal treasurer reports, and then we also have the financial forecast that we will approve on tonight's agenda. And then we also have the donations that I always like to highlight. Again, we're always so thankful and grateful for the folks that donate to Hamilton City Schools. So we've got AMVETS out there for $3,400, and then the Hamilton Optimist Club to Wilson Middle for $250. So again, thank you to all those folks. And those are my items this evening.
Thank you, sir. Do I accept the motion to accept the finance agenda?
I'll move.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Frazier, if you call the roll, please.
Ms. Matthews?
Yes.
Dr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Mancuso?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson? Yes. Dr. Kopus?
Yes.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, March 10th, here at 533 Dayton Street. Do I have a motion, accept the motion to adjourn?
So move.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.